Okay, so we're going to talk about time management hacks for 2020, getting the most out of your day. Now, this is not a sexy topic, but it seems like a topic that a lot of people are really interested in, something that a lot of people need help with. And why do we typically need help with this? When you're coming from a 9 to 5 job, you have specific hours you work from 9 to 5 or whatever. When I was a W-2, I was working generally from 9:30 to about 4:30. Probably not the best example, but that was kind of how I was. But when you work for yourself, one of the reasons why you go to work for yourself is you have this idea that you get to create your own schedule. And that's really cool. Except one of two things happen. Either you're like the worst boss and you kill yourself working crazy hours, or you may be too lax of a boss and excusing a lot of things for yourself, letting things kind of, you're very forgiving of yourself possibly. You know, you might be working during the day and you have ESPN on in the background, that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things that you can do to remove some of those distractions and get more done in a day. Now, before I start, I should let you all know, not a single thing here is an original thought. Everything here is stuff that I've learned along the way. And this is not a comprehensive time management course or whatever. This is just what's happening in my life. This is what works for me. So I'm inviting you all to see how I run my life, how we've got all the different businesses running and still having work-life balance, the elusive work-life balance. First thing is the Miracle Morning. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Miracle Morning, then you guys need to get the book, The Miracle Morning. But at a very high level, what I really do that I take from that book is SAVERS. And what does SAVERS stand for? Silence, affirmations, vision, exercise, read, and scribe, which is where I apply my one thing. So where does my routine start? It starts at 5 a.m. I wake up at 5 a.m. It's not every day. The goal is every day, Sunday through Saturday. Realistically, it's 4 or 5 days a week. Okay, so I'm not perfect. I'm human. I know that's a shock for a lot of you. After I wake up, right, I get a big glass of water. And depending on the day, I'm going to go and meditate for 10 minutes. And when I'm meditating, the meditation is really simple. You know, you go through the 5 senses. What do I see? Which is not a lot with your eyes closed. What do I see? What do I smell? What do I taste? What do I hear? What do I feel? And, you know, like you can feel your shirt on your shoulders, your back in the chair, your feet on the floor, that kind of stuff. And after that, I ask myself, why am I doing this? Because waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, no one does that for fun. So why am I doing this? Okay. So I ask myself, why am I doing this? Which is basically because I want to be the best version of me possible. And I want my kids to have the same best possible lives as well. And then after I ask myself, why am I doing this? I ask myself, what am I grateful for? It's a very quick list. And after that, it's just about 5 minutes of silence. And then that's where all the self-talk comes in. It's not completely silent, you know, all the things that I should be thinking about, you know, that start seeping in at that point. After that, I review my affirmations, which I'll share in a minute. And then I review my vision. And then I'll exercise if it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Read for 10 minutes. And then plan my one thing for the day. So what are my affirmations? So this is what I'm reading to myself every morning. Out loud, I'm mouthing it. I'm not screaming it, you know. But here's what I'm reading to myself every morning. I'm committed to spending 30 minutes with my girls every day when I get home, no matter what, so they can be the father they deserve. I'm committed to expressing love to child every day, no matter what, so that I can be the great husband she deserves. I'm committed to doing one big priority every day, no matter what, so that I can net 100,000 every month. I'm committed to always doing it or delegating it now, no matter what, so that I can become the juggernaut I know I can be. I am committed to eating less than 20 grams of carbohydrates every day, no matter what, because I weigh less than 180. And this one's important for me because 190 is my thermometer or thermostat, where once I get to 190, my diet habits all fall apart and I bounce back up to 200. So I'm programming myself to be at 180. And this morning I was 189.6. Okay. I'm committed to a bulletproof coffee for lunch and eating just one meal per day no matter what, because eating less gives me the energy I need to dominate. I'm committed to saying my nightly affirmations every night no matter what, so that I can wake at 5 a.m. I'm committed to doing the miracle morning every morning no matter what, so that I can net 100,000 per month. You guys are seeing a theme here, right? 100,000 is a number that I'm always attracted to. I make 100,000 per month passively. That's the goal. Success is my duty, my obligation, and my responsibility. This is, if you guys are big Grant Cardone fans, right? This is what he says. I'm the architect of my life. I am unstoppable. So this is what I repeat to myself, not every day, but almost every day. Okay. And then I go to my vision. And my vision is cherished child, right? I want a wife who feels cherished. All right. And the only way she can feel cherished is if I cherish her. I want well-adjusted, happy, and successful daughters. I don't shelter my daughters. Like I've met a lot of Asian girls who are sheltered by their parents. And it's a travesty, how overprotective or being a helicopter parent can be. So my kids, I wouldn't say they have a tough life, but they don't have it easy either. Another thing is 25 of the best wholesalers in the Disruptors Mastermind. I have a mastermind I host once every quarter. So I want to have the 25 of the best wholesalers in the mastermind. Top 5 in real estate on YouTube. I want to have the #1 podcast in the investing category. Got some room to catch up for that because I got Dave Ramsey and bigger pockets ahead of me. I want to net $1 million in 2020. Now, that's probably not going to happen, but that's what I wanted. Okay. I want to pay my parents and my in-laws each $10,000 a month. What are they going to do with it? I don't know, but I want to pay them, right? Retiring your parents is something a lot of the people that are in this business are pursuing. I want everybody that works with me making 100K plus. Everybody, okay? Whether you're admin or whatever, I just want everyone to have that opportunity. I want to have an epic family trip every year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year with COVID. We were supposed to spend a week and a half in San Diego earlier this month, but obviously that didn't happen. I want to create 100 millionaires. Everyone here is familiar with that mission. And again, 100,000 a month passive. And the last one is I want to be cell phone buddies with Tony Robbins. That's where I want to be. I've heard some people ask me like, what's my goal? And I've said my goal is I want to be the Asian Tony Robbins. That's who I want to be. I don't want to be 6'8", but besides that, that's kind of the goal. And for those of you guys that have been following me for a long time, I used to put here, I want to own the Cardinals. I want to buy the Cardinals. But as we become more successful and more productive, sports becomes a lot less interesting over time. And so that's no longer here, owning the Cardinals, rescuing our sports franchise from our god-awful owners in Arizona is no longer a priority, but it was for a very long time. So what's my evening routine? Because we already went over the morning routine. So the evening routine is dinner with the family. And this is every night. We have dinner together every night. No phone at the table. Okay. So present. You have to be present. I have someone else I look up to in the real estate industry who was always at his kids' games. And he was proud of it. And then he talked to them one time and he was like, how proud he was, prideful. And their kids like, Dad, we don't remember you being at the games. We remember you being on the phones constantly at the games. So he was there, but he wasn't there. He was physically there, but he was not mentally present. So think about that, okay? That's what your kids are going to remember if you guys have kids. If not, your wife, whatever. But no phone at the table. Stop eating by 8 p.m. This one I struggle with, but the goal, right, for intermittent fasting is to stop eating by 8 p.m. And then I plug in my phone at 10 p.m. in the kitchen. And this is important for me because what I used to do was I'd be on my phone until I fell asleep. And I didn't have a hard time sleeping. I always slept reasonably fast, less than 3 minutes. But if it took me longer than 3 minutes to fall asleep, I was pretty frustrated. But now, like nothing good happens at night. Nothing good happens at night. And so by plugging in at 10 p.m., this is my night routine. I'm going to bed. And that's basically it. Now when I go lay down, I am out even faster, if that's even possible. Okay. Um, so diet is a big part of my productivity. And people think it's kind of crazy, how obsessive I am with this. But this is important to me because this is the cheat code to get more done. So I have an extreme deficiency of carbohydrates, and there's going to be some haters. Some of you guys on here now talking about how you need carbs to feed your brain and this and that. So if you believe that, fine. I'm just telling you what works for me. So extreme deficiency of carbs, like I said, less than 20 grams of carbs per day. I have 0 calories from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. Now, keto today is so much easier than it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago when I was doing keto, you legit couldn't eat anything, okay? Now, you can go to Costco or Walmart and buy this Lakanto monk fruit sweetener, which is the same thing as sugar, as your body tastes like it's sugar, but it's sugar alcohol, so it doesn't process it like sugar. So this will not kick you out of ketosis, okay? And so you can substitute all your desserts, if you insist on desserts, with monk fruit sweetener versus sugar. And instead of drinking soda, you can drink sparkling flavored water. So waterless strawberry happens to be my favorite. I get the Oikos triple zero blended Greek yogurt. Tasty, okay? Here's the thing. All the stuff here, it's not as good as the sugary yogurt, as the sugary ice cream, but it's darn close. And so the sacrifice I need to make, it's not that big. It's worth it to me to get the sugar alcohol yogurt and the sugar alcohol ice cream versus the real one and feeling bad about myself the next day. So 000 yogurt and then the keto pint sea salt caramel. I'll tell you, if you guys like the caramel frappuccino at Starbucks, that's what this keto ice cream tastes like. So it's a lot easier, okay, to do this. And then the other thing is I have bulletproof coffee for lunch if I need it, okay? If I don't need it, I'll skip it. But if I need it, I'll get a bulletproof coffee. So what's a bulletproof coffee? It's coffee with supposedly a tablespoon of sugar. I usually do 2 or 3 tablespoons of sugar. Butter, 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. And Max Jimenez laughs at me all the time, right? Because, I'm basically putting coffee in my butter, okay? But when you're in ketosis, butter, fat is what you need. And when you're in ketosis, if you're on the keto diet, you're burning fat, and that's how you lose stomach fat, okay? Like you used to say, like brown fat couldn't be lost. You can't lose brown fat. But if you're on ketosis, you can burn brown fat. Ghee is supposed to be better, but I never buy ghee. So it's coffee. I just use a Keurig K-cup. So coffee, tablespoon of butter, but I normally like do 2 or 3. A couple of tablespoons of MCT, medium chain triglyceride oils, something like that. And then I put collagen because my body's falling apart. I played way too much basketball outdoors my whole life. So my body sucks. And so with that, I get a lot of collagen to help with the ligaments and the tendons of the joints. So that's my diet. Now, again, not a fun topic, but these are the little things that really help to give you more energy throughout the day. So the other thing, my phone is on do not disturb 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it has been so for the last 2 years. Okay. So one of the things that I get is, I've had a couple people think I'm an overnight success. And you guys might have heard me say this before. It took me 15 years to become an overnight success. So I've had these habits before. Okay. So again, my phone is on do not disturb 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The only people that can get through are my wife, my mother-in-law, because she watches my kids, Max Jimenez, my business partner, Summer Wilkins, my right-hand person, and Tarwater, where my kids go to school. That's it. Anybody else, if they call me, it's probably gonna go to voicemail. And so Jamil's complained to me. It's like, how come every time I call you, I go to voicemail? It's like, I don't know what to tell you. My phone's do not disturb. Okay. Now, with that being said, is there some cheating? Yes. My watch is on do not disturb from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. So from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., if someone calls me, my watch will vibrate. But I've gotten desensitized to it, so I don't really look at it unless I've got nothing going on. Because being 100% present is something that I value a lot. And not only that, I think the people that I'm talking to really value that I'm 100% present, right? Like you imagine we're doing this call or this Zoom call, and then, I get distracted, I look over here, or I get an email notification, I look down, right? Like people hate it, right? Just thinking about it. Thank you, son. I'm very receptive because when I'm present, when I'm listening, I am present. And then you guys can see most frequently contacted is Dave Day, my mentor. So, it's funny. Dave Day's my private money mentor, and Jamil was my wholesale mentor. So those are the people I talk to the most. Might be some clues in there. So with that being said as well, all my notifications are off. Now I take that back. Not all of them, okay? But my emails, I don't check my emails maybe a handful of times a day. And I only do it when I'm bored, okay? So right now, my emails are monitored by Summer. She's my right-hand person. If there's a problem, she will text me or call me. If there's something urgent, she'll let me know. Besides that, I'm not worried about my emails. So I'll go a whole day without checking an email. Now, that might sound crazy to you guys right now. And when you start, there will be a little bit of a detoxing, a little bit of a withdrawal. And the first few times I paused my emails, I was very uncomfortable. You got the cold sweats, the hair on the back of your neck is tingling, you're missing something, but you'll get there eventually, right? So you guys don't have to do all these things as intensely as I'm doing right now. That's just what I'm doing. So here's the only notifications I see right now: missed calls, text messages, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And my goal, I hired a VA and I'm hiring someone that's starting tomorrow. My goal is to be able to remove Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube notifications as well. So that's for the notifications. The other thing is you want to hire A players only, okay? One of the things that happens is if you hire anyone that's not an A player, your company can start falling apart because you're going to have a bunch of people that aren't functioning at their highest level. And one of the biggest problems with B players is they're intimidated by A players. So if you have A players around, the B players can be intimidated. In fact, that's been one of the keys to my success in my brokerage is that we only have A players. Like if you're a B player, you're going to feel really out of place. So we don't recruit, but if you're a B player and you show up, it's like, I feel very uncomfortable here because everyone here is highly successful. They'll self-eliminate, and that's fine. That's good for me and for them. So the bigger your dream, the more important your team, okay? And this is what Steve Jobs calls prevent the bozo explosion, because what happens if you have B players, they only hire C players. And so you're going to have a lot of B players and C players. But if you only hire A players, then you're only going to have A players. And the great thing about having A players is you can pretty much, I'm not encouraging that you berate them. I don't berate my team. But if you can imagine like Michael Jordan, right? If you guys just watch The Last Dance, can you imagine when Phil Jackson walked up to Michael and said, hey, that guy's embarrassing you. You're doing a terrible job out there. Is Michael going to like look down, maybe just kind of mope to the bench? Or is he going to take that as a personal challenge, right? That's what an A player will do. A B player, they're going to like, okay, well, that hurt my feelings. I don't like that. And they may not be as good. They might be performing at a lower level. In fact, going back to Michael Jordan, there was a time where when Jordan owned the Wizards, and he berated Kwame Brown, and he called him something really inappropriate, so I won't repeat it, but grossly inappropriate, definitely not PC standards by 2020. It wasn't even PC standards back when it happened. But you can see like Kwame Brown's career went in the tank after his hero berated him, okay? That's what happens when you're a B player. A players take challenges personally and improve. B and C players take challenges, criticism personally and fall apart. Sorry. Yeah. Look at this. Doing a terrible job here. So the other thing is my calendar is my Bible. All right. Everything I do, my time is pretty much planned before I even start it. Okay. So in my calendar, I have a weekly rhythm. So one of the things they talk about in the Miracle Morning is having your perfect day. All right. You want to have your perfect day planned. So every day from like 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. you're prospecting. And then from 10:30 maybe to noon, you're cleaning up some files. Noon to 1, maybe you get some lunch, and then 1 the rest of the day, you're out in the field, closing deals, whatever, right? That's what they talk about having the perfect day. I have for my life a perfect week, okay? I know what each day of the week looks like. So, if you guys are watching here, you guys probably know Wednesday's podcast day. Nothing replaces podcast day, okay? And the great thing about having a calendar is that it limits your decisions. You don't have to think about what you're doing next because it's already been decided for you, right? It's as if fate has already decided what's going to happen for you. Why is this important? Because willpower does not work. We want to think you can will your way through, but your willpower is just like your phone battery. If you guys are responsible, which I'm going to presume 100% of you are, then you charge your phone every night. If you're not charging your phone every night, you might want to look at some, other personal life decisions. But if you charge your phone every night, when you wake up, it's green, right? The battery meter is green, and it'll last, if you have an Android, all day. If you have an iPhone, maybe till like 2 o'clock. Sorry, iPhone fans. But it wanes and it drains throughout the day. And your willpower is no different, okay? Your willpower is at its highest when you first wake up. You got to do the awful stuff. That's why you got to meditate. You got to read. You got to exercise, okay? Because what happens after about 3 o'clock, you've got almost no willpower. All the awful things you have to do throughout the day, your willpower is drained. And so I tell people all the time, they ask me, when's the best time to cold call? Well, if you're trying to reach a prospect, the best time to cold call is really from 4:30 till about 7 o'clock. Okay, that's the best time to reach somebody. When's the best time to cold call though? About 8 to 11 in the morning. Why? Because that's when you'll do it consistently. If you're trying to cold call at 4:30, the best time to do it, to reach somebody, you are exhausted. You are tired. That picking up the phone, I've heard my friend Amy say, your phone weighs about 300 pounds when you're trying to cold call. Okay, it's so hard to pick up. At 4:30 in the afternoon, it's really difficult to have the continued willpower to do it. So you got to do all the awful stuff in the morning. Brian Tracy says, eat the frog first, right? And so that's why I have my calendar the way it is. Your willpower just doesn't work. So here's what my calendar looks like. This is for this week, and it's kind of funny. I made this presentation 3 weeks ago, but I made it for this week. And so you can see my calendar, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I am running at 5:30 o'clock at Discovery Park. I review my P&Ls every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. I have my weekly 9 a.m. with Max at Max Cash Offers in the office. I meet with my accountant for an hour every Monday from 11 a.m. to noon. I have my first sales training at 2 o'clock on Monday. And then I have my second sales training on at 3:30, right? So those are the people that are in my coaching program. I have one call at 2, another call at 3:30. On Tuesday, every other week, I do a one-on-one with Templeton Walker and another one with Ryan Zolan. And in this particular week, I had a radio show with Ryan Zolan. 5 o'clock, I got piano lessons for my kids. I personally take them to piano lessons. Now with COVID, we're doing it remotely, but I'm the one that takes my kids to piano lessons. Again, Wednesday is podcast day. So I got the run. I got my sales training. I still go to a sales trainer, right? So I go to my sales trainer at Wednesday mornings. And then everyone in our coaching program, I do the sales training from 10:30 to 11:30. I got my podcast right? You guys saw I had the podcast with Matthew Simmons yesterday. So I did the podcast. I put a buffer there so nothing gets booked there. And then I take my kids to Kung Fu lessons and then piano lessons. Again, it's closed because of COVID, but that's in my calendar. Thursdays, I have our scaling call for our high level students. I got my one-on-one with Matthew Potter. And then I'm also the sales trainer for Collective Genius. So I train the Collective Genius members on Thursdays at 1:00. And then at 5:30, I have my offer fast meeting with my team. That's every Thursday at 5:30. Fridays, I got my sales trainer. If I can make it, that's not as much a priority as it used to be. So, but if I can, I go. And then I got my, in Collective Genius, we have a call tomorrow at 10:00. I'm gonna be on that one. And then I have the private money training at noon. It's not on here because this, like I said, I created this 3 weeks ago, but we have our private money training tomorrow at noon. And that's every Friday.